In the last two installments of the Wolfenstein saga, we've been presented with a very dark alternate history in which the Third Reich had won the Second World War. With that, Germany has conquered the world and even the moon. Now, as we all know, the Nazis did not win the Second World War, as depicted in Wolfenstein. But what if I told you the Nazis were closer to winning the war than what you thought? Today, on the New Age Gamers, we are going to rewrite history with various scenarios at which Germany could have won the Second World War, like depicted in Wolfenstein.
One of the reasons shown in Wolfenstein: The New Order is the Nazis developed the nuclear bomb and detonated it on New York City, thus causing the United States to surrender in the same fashion Japan surrendered in real life. But let's talk about how close Germany was to actually having a nuclear bomb. Research into the German atomic bomb program started in 1939 after nuclear fission was discovered in 1938. A German army physicist by the name of Kurt Dimner chaired this project to build a bomb. His fellow German scientists soon figured out that uranium-235 would be an excellent candidate to use as nuclear explosion. However, uranium-235 is a rare element at which it is difficult to find. This element is costly to look for. With that, as the war dragged on, more and more funding for the German atomic bomb program got cut to fund other things, such as the Allies closing in on the Third Reich on all sides. This begs the question of why did the Nazis not get the bomb? That answer is easy. They had the great minds behind it, but they simply ran out of time and funding. In Wolfenstein, however, the Germans were able to detonate the atomic bomb on New York City in 1948. So maybe if the war dragged on until 1948, the bomb could have been created. But with that, most likely the American atomic bomb being created in 1945, the war could have ended with a nuclear blast over Berlin, thus causing the 1,000-year Reich to come crashing down.
So the German atomic bomb could never be created. But what if there were more ways for Nazi Germany to win the war? In 1940, Nazi Germany had almost won the Second World War. Germany had conquered the former Allied powers like France and Poland. All he had was one more Allied power standing in his way, and that was Britain. Hitler had sent his Luftwaffe to decimate the British cities in airstrikes, hoping to cause surrender. However, Hitler was running out of oil for his campaign. With that, he needed to find oil to power the war machine. Hitler turned towards the USSR's oil reserves in the Caucasus Mountain. He figured he could invade the Soviet Union and take the oil, thus powering his machines to take care of both nations. With that, he launched Operation Barbarossa, and which opened up the Eastern Front, which in the long run helped Hitler's defeat. But what if Hitler could have got the oil from another place without attacking the Soviet bear? According to historian John Keegan, Hitler could have got oil from the Mid-East rather than Russia. Hitler at the time had taken the Balkans, which included places like Yugoslavia and Bulgaria. Hitler could have used the Balkans as a starting point in the invasion of Turkey. If Hitler could successfully invade Turkey, he then could have almost no resistance in the Mid-East because most of it was controlled by the British, at which their forces were stretched out. Hitler could have used Mid-Eastern oil to power the war machine, thus ending the war by early 1941.
Another similar scenario that could have happened involving Germany's oil problems would be in the Axis powers had won the Battle of El Alamein in late 1941. General Erwin Rommel, the commander of Axis powers in Africa, had pushed from Tunisia all the way to El Alamein, Egypt. If Rommel could have won El Alamein, he could have easily pushed into Egypt and took the Suez Canal. If the Suez Canal, the Third Reich, could have accessed the Middle Eastern oil via North Africa, thus powering the war machine again. At this point in the war, the Soviet Union was involved in the war against the Axis powers. With the conquest of the Middle East, Rommel could have went north over the Caucasus Mountains to attack the Soviet Union from the south, at which he could have caused the Soviet Union to fall by 1942, thus leaving the Nazis in charge of Europe by 1942. With Hitler in charge of Europe, he could have set his eyes on taking out the last of the Allied powers, America.
Today we covered a lot of speculative history at which the Third Reich had won World War II. Wolfenstein presents us with an interesting world under the thumb of the Nazis, but I'm very glad the Allies had won the Second World War to stop this monster. Let's be happy that Wolfenstein is a work of fiction, and nothing else. And on that note, this is Brody, and the New Age Gamers wishing you a great day.